Good evening, or is it good afternoon, whatever time you're listening us from, in terms of this whole series of interacting with young people on this digital space. If you are like me, I've also been young. If you're a young person, I've also been young. I've also passed through the challenges of, graduating from university and reaching the space, the so-called working space, to be able to find a job, and I couldn't get one. So if you are like me and you are seated in that chair and you're watching me and listening to me, there's always hope, because a lot of people think that, when I go to school, I get good grades, I'll go find a job. Unfortunately, the challenge which is there now is that, jobs no longer exist. You have been training and you come to the marketplace for a job which does not exist. So if you're in that kind of space whereby, you have got your education, you are excited that now I'm going to live a life of contribution, to be able to be in the marketplace and be of value to my country, be of value to my family, because now I'll be able to get a job. Well, there are no jobs anymore, and because there are no jobs anymore, it means most of us should really consider what I call the entrepreneurship option. Entrepreneurship as a career option. And if you're going to choose entrepreneurship as a career option, I believe that, it also requires for you, first and foremost, it starts with you, the entrepreneur. You have to have a mind of an entrepreneur. And to have a mind of an entrepreneur is to begin to see the opportunities which are there to get a job. That if you have to have a mind of an entrepreneur, then you need to ensure that all the things that you do focus on changing your mindset. We talk a lot about mindset change. Why do you need a mindset change? Because you see, the mindset which you were being groomed when you started from classroom was more, what I call the industrial age, where, they trained you to say that when you were in school, first you are brought to school, the bell rings, you are in a particular channel, and you learn. After you learn, the bell rings again, you move out of there. So they program you that, when you leave there, you're going to go to a job that they'll also be telling you that if you put the right amount of hours, you will be able to get paid a particular amount of money. But in the entrepreneurship route, now it is you yourself being your own boss. You yourself being your own boss, meaning that there will be nobody who will be actually planning on your behalf. There will be actually you yourself who has to plan to be able to say, I want to make it. Whether I want to make it in agribusiness, or I want to make it in whatever arena that you choose. But you see, entrepreneurship is not as easy as ABC. Because a lot of people say, okay, I'll just, start, buy a few wares and trade. You find that, that becomes what I call the necessity entrepreneur. You just, barely survive. You just barely get by. But if you want to build an enterprise whereby you yourself are able to also employ other people, it means you need to move beyond that, to move to a level whereby you, first and foremost, you need to build yourself capacity. Capacity in terms of, first, you need to understand yourself. You understand yourself as an individual. What are you good at? What are you passionate at? Because there's no need for you to choose an entrepreneurship option where you hardly know what you're going into. So you need to understand the industry that you choose. For most of Africa, I always encourage young people to choose agribusiness, because I always say agribusiness is our lowest hanging fruit. Why is agribusiness the lowest hanging fruit? Because most of traditional Africa, most of Africa is agrarian. And because it's agrarian, it means that you can be able to find a lot of opportunities that are there in the agriculture sector. So if you are such a one, don't always think about the traditional arduous, where you use the hand hoe to be able to eke out a living from the land. But I want you to be introduced in agribusiness, agriculture as a business, whereby, if you have IT skills, you can be able to participate in the value chains. Let's take, for instance, if you are going to talk about moringa as a tree crop. If you look at moringa as a value chain, to be able to look at it from seed to land preparation, to growing your moringa, to harvesting your moringa, after you harvest your moringa, to now processing it. If you add all that value chain, you can participate as an entrepreneur in terms of just seed supply. Seed supply is massive business. All the people that want to grow moringa in Africa will need seed. So you can participate there and be yourself as a seed supplier. But you can also participate in terms of, supply of, equipment for plowing the fields. You can participate in the management, providing extension service. And that extension service, now you can provide it online, you can provide it by you getting the knowledge and giving it to the farmers. You find that if you look at it as a value chain in one crop, just moringa alone, there are various opportunities that are open to young people. The important thing is to always remember that in all the business ideas, and there are hundreds of them, especially in the agribusiness space, because if you look at, that's just one, when you're talking about moringa, I've told you from seed preparation, from land preparation, managing the crop, harvesting, post-harvest, just taking care of when you harvest your moringa, how do you dry it, how do you package it, how do you take it to market. And in taking to market, you need a skill set as well for you to be able to participate, whether it's international business or local business, you need a skill set. All that skill set, for me, in talking to you about entrepreneurship, is for you to begin to see opportunities. Because opportunities in the agribusiness are vast. And because they are vast, it means you can participate effectively. But if you also look at in terms of how moringa now helps the different arenas, you will see yourself in an aspect where you say moringa for livestock. If you're feeding your cows, if you're feeding your chickens, if you're feeding your pigs on moringa as a supplement there, then we can take out in the meat value chain. On the meat value chain, can we talk about the opportunities there? You're also talking about from production, where you're a primary producer, if you're a pig farmer or a chicken farmer, and then you're talking about in terms of taking care of it, providing vet medication, providing services to the meat value chain. In all this, you begin to see that also after you've grown your animals, and when it's ready to go to the market, you can also participate in what I call the value addition, the value add. I can spend the whole day talking about value addition, because when you're talking about if you want to get more value from local pork, local beef, local cows, then you can begin to add value. So that instead of bringing pigs to the marketplace, you bring to the marketplace polony. You bring sausages, you bring bacon, you bring the things that are ready to eat. You find that when you position yourself like that, you get more value. You're becoming more entrepreneurial that way. So as opposed to just bringing a whole pig to the marketplace, you bring polony, you bring Hungarian sausage, you bring Burgos sausage, you bring bacon, you bring the things that and so in there, on that value chain, on meat processing, you can participate either as you yourself are processing that, or you can say, well, I'm a distributor. Just the whole marketing and distribution of these meat products, a huge business opportunity. Why am I telling that these are all business opportunities? Because a lot of people always say that, how will I start? As a young person, normally I don't have a working capital. I always say, ideas are the ones which attract capital. I always say that what is more important is not so much the money, but if you have the idea, you'll be able to attract capital. So the starting point is for you to gain knowledge. As you are studying, instead of just getting what I call school knowledge, which prepares you for you to go and get a job. Begin to become creative and say, how can I be able to participate in the agricultural value chains, whether you're talking about soya value chain, meat value chain. All these provides opportunities for young people to participate in the agricultural sector, as opposed to the traditional hand hoe where you are tilling the land. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, my father suffered a lot on the land. There's no way I want to do anything to do with farming. But hey, there's massive opportunity beyond the arduous way in which we were growing crops on the land, because now there's technology. If you embrace technology, you should be able to get tons of cash on the land. But that was just the introduction to it in terms of entrepreneurship. Remember what I said, that everything starts with your mindset. If you have a mindset to be an entrepreneur, a mindset to do it as a business, then you need now the schooling or the education. You need to be able to ensure that you build capacity for you to survive in that particular business. Don't just jump into a business without understanding how things work. Because if you understand how things work, you'll be able to go into a business and you will survive. The challenge for a lot of people is that we go into a business as what you call a survivalist. So you see people are keeping chickens, all of a sudden you have a bit of money, you also go and buy little chicks. First of all, you don't know how to take care of those chicks. Secondly, you don't know what to feed them. Thirdly, you don't know at which level of profit do you want to be in that business. So you find others who are already in that business who will actually cut your throat because they're already into it. They have developed mastery at raising chickens, bringing them to the market. And you're just a startup. You hardly have any information. So we say, before you invest, before you spend even people's money, some of us have opportunity to borrow from our relatives and so forth. Before you spend that money, the starting point, get knowledge, get understanding, get the wisdom of raising those chickens. If it is meat processing, first get training, get capacity built, so that when you are in that business arena, then you will be able to survive. I mean, they say for you to become a medical doctor, it takes you 7 years. But people think that in business you can just, plunge yourself into there and you're a businessman. It takes much more than just plunging into something for you to understand business, because you need a business mindset. You need to understand how to make profit. You need to understand how to lead your business. So there are all these kind of personal development issues which impact on the growth of your business. If you can't lead your business, it means you will actually fail. So you need leadership skills. You need, when you do start your business, then now you need to understand how do you organize, what is called management. How do you manage your business? That requires a whole skill set, and you require to build capacity. Don't just plunge into a business without understanding how things work. Know how to manage your business. But also, you need to know that to run a good business, initially you can start with you being the manager, you are the MD, you are the owner of the business, you do everything. But as your business grows, you begin to know that then you need to have a skill set of to employ different skill sets. You need an accountant, you need a marketer, you need somebody who will be able to keep records of your things inside there. So it is important that when you venture into entrepreneurship, always remember how things are managed. It is far more important for you to know how things are managed than to just plunge into anything. So what am I saying? I've told you the starting point. I keep going back so that you don't forget that entrepreneurship is not also for the faint-hearted. Entrepreneurship, you need an entrepreneurial mind. Entrepreneurship, you also need some role models. You need to find out where you can learn. Either you find somebody who is already successful and become a mentee or an apprentice, or you go to a capacity building seminar. I always say, for me, as somebody who offers seminars, I always say, come to the seminar so that you can be able to learn the skill set that you require for you to survive in a business. Otherwise, without a skill set, without understanding how things work, you will always be complaining about, that business is hard. But business is also enjoyable. It's not hard. It's hard, if you don't know how things are run. But when you know how things are run, you know how to bounce back when you meet some losses, you will find the journey of being an entrepreneur so enjoyable. And I told you secondly that in entrepreneurship, our lowest hanging fruit in Africa is in the agribusiness, because in agribusiness you are really talking about whether you're talking about livestock, whether you're talking about crops, whether you're talking about tree crops. In all these arenas, there's massive opportunity for you to run it as an agribusiness. And my aim in giving you this talk is for you to be able to look within, look around you, and be able to a problem solver. Remember, business is problem solving. If you're a problem solver, if you see farmers are having challenges taking product to market, find a solution for them and you'll be in business. If you find that farmers are having challenges raising their chickens, maybe their chickens are dying, then you need to be an extension man, to provide extension to those farmers. And people will reward you handsomely if you solve people's problems. So you need to be able to remember that that is what it requires of you. But I want to also to talk about in terms of what most people say, that, oh, Mr. Banda, you keep talking about telling us that entrepreneurship is the option for us as young people. How can I be a businessman? Nobody in my family has been in business. Nobody, I have no role models and so forth. I say, hey, if you do attend a seminar, what I call the day that turns your life around, the day when you come and encounter with people that are already in business. So if there's an entrepreneur that you always admire that is making it, why don't you go there and volunteer your time? Provide you free service. As you provide your free service, you begin to learn how things work. A lot of people, don't want to volunteer. The first thing they come in my office always, I'm looking for a job. I say, well, I don't have a job, but if you want to volunteer, I've got plenty of work for those people who are willing to come here. And so you use my business for you to go to the next level. So you can be able to actually use another person's business for you to grow as an entrepreneur, because that's what you need to be able to grow into it and then run a business. All right, we've been talking, and now I want you to pause and think about whether you want to continue waiting for a job which does not exist, or you want to consider entrepreneurship on a serious note. A lot of people go into entrepreneurship in what I call necessity entrepreneur. Necessity entrepreneurs are those who, they can't get a job, so they just find a few wares to sell on the street corner and very minimal profit margins that they make. That is not the sort of business and entrepreneurship I want you to be involved in. I want you to be involved in the real deal, to be the entrepreneurs that change the world. In whatever arena that you choose, whether you choose in the IT arena, whether you choose in the technology, whether you choose in agribusiness, or you choose whatever arena that you choose, you need to make sure that you need to make inroads so that you can leave your footprints in the sands of history. Don't just go into it as a survivalist type of thing, but go into it to go and make a difference, whether it's solving community problems or solving business problems. I think if you take an approach like that, I believe that, then you'll be living a meaningful life. So I've told you, you need the right mindset, you need training. Very important. You need training. So you need capacity building. Thirdly, I've said you can volunteer. The volunteer principle is one of those that is dying. But I remember very well that when I was still younger, like you are, when I couldn't get a job, when I had just left university, I graduated with honors, thinking that now I'm going to get a job. I didn't get one. When I didn't get one, I began to volunteer my time in different businesses. That volunteering principle helped me to move me into my, because when you volunteer your time, you have a time to be able to learn from the best, those that are already doing something. And don't go there looking for a job, but go there and say, I want to, because that's the school fees that you pay for you having learned that. So you can volunteer your time. But thirdly, you can participate in different programs. I'm sure in your country, in my country, we have what are called cooperatives. Cooperative is a sure way to bring young people to pull together, to pull resources together and start a business. A lot of people go into cooperatives are those kind of cooperatives which only people just want to benefit from the cooperative. But join a cooperative so that you can be able to learn. When you join a cooperative, first you pull resources together. Secondly, you're able to learn how to work with other people. Fourthly, you can easily attract resources, because if you're talking about government programs, NGO programs, they always want to target people who are already organized, people who are already in some semblance of organization. So if you join those, I believe that you will be able to see the opportunity that always eludes, especially young people. But thirdly, I want you to begin to look at the IT or the internet superhighway. There are more millionaires being made on the internet than any other. I believe a lot of you who are listening to me or watching on this live stream, you will be able to attest to the fact that most of you will have a mobile phone. This mobile phone is a powerhouse. I call it a powerhouse because with a mobile phone, instead of you just chatting on Facebook or doing that, find a way in which you can make tons of money on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on WhatsApp while using your phone, because your phone gives you access to not only your environment, but it gives you the world at large as your marketplace. The challenge we have is that a lot of young people come on the internet and they're not doing anything meaningful apart from just social chatting. That's why it's called social media. So people use it mostly for socialization. But actually on social media, that's where you have everybody who is there. So if you start a business, you can actually use your social media and be able to advertise your business globally. So take advantage of Facebook, take advantage of WhatsApp, take advantage of, taking your business online. When you take your business online, I guarantee you that you'll come and thank me later that actually your phone was holding the key to a better future, because that's where we all want our young people to be. So take advantage of technology, take advantage of Facebook, take advantage of, the environment around you. And I want also to now talk to you about the problems you face. There's a solution to every problem you face. There are some of you right now who say, well, I want to start a business. I have a good business idea, but I don't have money. I run a program which is called How to Start a Business Without Cash. How to start a business without cash. And I always challenge young people, especially in our business incubation program, to be able to say, okay, go out there and find a business that you can start without any injection of cash. There, when I give you homework like that, is to actually work on your creativity. How creative are you? Can you be able to look at the things around you and turn them into a business? Can you be able to look at a problem and turn it into a business? Most of those who come to those seminars and they are able to come out with an idea that turns the day that becomes the day that turns their life around, always succeed in business. Because like I said earlier, is that business is problem solving. Because business is problem solving, it means you can be able to survive and thrive in that business if you are able to solve people's problems. So, if you don't have capital, find problem to solve or people to help solve their problems. And then they'll reward you handsomely for what you do for them. So always be volunteering, always be there to help solve people's problems. Sometimes, for some of you, instead of going away, I use a story which is called the Acres of Diamonds concept, that the solution to your life, to your entrepreneurship, lies right around in your environment, right where you're planted. Because a lot of people think that they need to go to a far-off place for them to find solutions. Maybe the challenges which you face as a family, you could be the solution. You could be the business idea that the family was waiting for. So look around you and begin to look on where you are and find a solution. This is based on a story famed to a gentleman known as Russell Cornwell. He was talking about Mr. Ali Hafed, who lived not far from the river Indus. This man was a wealthy farmer, but one day, somebody came to him and said, Mr. Hafed, I know everybody thinks you're a wealthy farmer, but Hafed, I tell you that if you can find diamonds, you will not only be wealthy, but you'll be so influential. You will literally rule over this community. Hafed, hearing that, he forgot all about farming and he began to search where he could find diamonds. It is said of Hafed, because he wanted capital to go and buy a mine of diamonds, he sells his treasured farm to go and look for a mine of diamonds. And Hafed looked all around the world in search of a mine to buy. He finished all the money from the proceeds of the sale of the farm, and when he had finished up, he came to at the bay at Barcelona with all his money spent. He's sick, and now he just decides to commit suicide. Ali Hafed committed suicide, plunged into the sea. But the guy who had bought the farm from him found that actually the diamonds were right where it was planted. And the moral of that story is that, a lot of us go to look for diamonds, go to look for opportunities in a faraway place, when the opportunities are right where you are planted. So instead of going to look for a job, maybe look around where you're planted and begin to see, is there something that I can be able to do to monetize and turn into value? If you find that, I promise you, you'll come and thank me later, that instead of looking for a job, maybe you should start developing that your parents' farm. Instead of looking for a job, maybe some of you should begin to look within. It's like, a country like where I hail from, Zambia. We are one of the richest nations in terms of mineral resources. I mean, the country has got minerals. The country has got water. We have most of the water from Southern Africa. But people are still wallowing in poverty. And so we start wondering, where is this poverty from? I submit to you that the most of that poverty is really because of mindset. We see our resources. Foreigners come from far from China. They come and exploit those resources and they become rich. And while we watch as citizens, because we don't see that the mineral wealth, the water, the land resources, all these, they provide opportunity for us to be able to monetize and turn into a business. So what am I saying to you young people? What I'm saying is that you can be able to succeed in entrepreneurship. I'm a living example. Never been, after finishing my 2 degrees, never been employed by anybody else. All I've done is create work for myself and other people. I've started different businesses because I put my mind to focus on entrepreneurship as a career option. Because like you, I also finished my first degree in university and thought I would find a job. 6 months, I couldn't get one. Then I resolved, I made a resolution. I'll no longer look for a job, but I'll create one. And ever since, I started with social enterprises, so I was able to run a non-governmental organization where I will be able to employ over 50 people, employing people who are even more qualified than I am because of the ideas that were lying asleep within. So you, watching me, you listening to me, have an idea. You are the one who holds the key, maybe to your country, maybe to your community, maybe to your family, but it is you that should be able to bring your family out of poverty. All you need is to have a shift in the mindset. Begin to think business. Begin to think entrepreneurial. Because it is only when you start thinking entrepreneurial that you begin to see the opportunities that are awash all around us. But if you do not become entrepreneurial, you're always thinking a job, then you won't see the opportunity. But I want you to have this shift in the mindset, because it's that shift in the mindset that will bring you to the next level. So, what have you learned from me? Number one, I've told you that you as an entrepreneur need to have a right mindset. The right mindset for business. The right mindset to come to the table with creating wealth. Don't be content with just being a job seeker. There are no more jobs. Because there are no more jobs, it means you need to shift your mindset to wanting to create jobs, wanting to be the one that brings about meaningful development. You need a shift in the mindset. But you need to have a vision. You need to have a clarity of vision. That vision comes from finding a mentor, finding somebody that can mentor you, or somebody that you can be an apprentice to, or find an opportunity where you can be able to learn. Or maybe participate in a business incubator like our incubator, where we bring young people to look at entrepreneurship as a career option. You can be able to survive as an entrepreneur. All right. So what am I saying to the young people? You need to be able to see that there are no more jobs out there, but there are opportunities. So if you see opportunity, it means you can deploy yourself. Deploy yourself for you to be able to be of value to society. Because a lot of people say when they don't get a job, then they give up on life. But don't give up on life, because life is full of opportunities. I remember one young man who came to our business incubator. He had been he had, after his graduation, he spent 4 years moving door to door looking for a job. But when he came to our business incubation, we told him about the opportunity entrepreneurship. And he stayed with us for 90 days. For the first 3 months, working in our business incubator. And then later on, when we deployed him, this young man who started with very little capital, he was able to move from our business incubation to go and start an enterprise. Right now, he employs 8 other young people, because he chose entrepreneurship as a career option. If he had been still looking for a job, I bet by today he should still have been in the streets of my country looking for a job. Instead of him deploying himself, he chose the opportunity to be able to become an entrepreneur. So what are we talking about in terms of entrepreneurship? The emphasis, as you can see from what I'm sharing, is first your personal development. When you grow as a person, you develop in your mindset, your goals, your vision towards business, I believe you will be able to begin to see the various opportunities that are available for young people to participate in. Most young people don't see the opportunities because the thinking, the programming is that you are always going to get a job. Like I'm telling you, since there are no more jobs, you need to have a shift. Begin to, actually I always say that, everybody should understand business. Whether you are a young person, an older person, we must all learn, because even when you have a job, when you finally retire from your job, you'll find that you can't run away from business. If you set on a farm, you need to make sure that your farm is an agribusiness, that farm can be able to survive on its own as a business. So the important thing is for you to embrace entrepreneurship, embrace business, embrace wealth creation, but also embrace what I call financial literacy. You need to understand that business is about financial literacy, understanding those. To end my presentation, I want you to remember these three pillars that you will use for you to build your business. The first pillar is the answer to the question, can you make it? Can you make it? So if you are going to be in any business, you need to make sure you have a product. If you're going to manufacturing or processing, if you're going to sausage making, you need to make sure you have a product. That's the first pillar. For any enterprise that you choose, you need to know that you need to have a pillar. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is if you have answered the question, can you make it? And when you make that product, make sure it is a world-class product. Don't just sell products which you only sell to your neighbors or to your street corner. Think of the world as your marketplace. Secondly, can you sell it? Can you sell the product that you have chosen? If she's keeping chickens, can you sell those chickens? If he's making polonies, if you're making sausages, can you sell those sausages? Because sales and marketing is number one key pillar for you to build your business. And the last pillar is the answer to the question, can you take care of the money? We're talking about the first pillar, your product. Second pillar, sales and marketing. Third pillar, can you take care of the money? In taking care of the money, you're talking about your financial literacy. You're talking about understanding the things that you need for you to survive as a business. So in understanding those things that you need to survive as a business, it means you need record keeping. Make sure that you understand profit and loss. Those are pillars for business, to understand profit and loss. Don't just be busy all the days of your life and not progressing. I see many people in my country who run what are called businesses, but it's not really a business, but it's a glorified job, something that will keep them subjugated for years to come. But if you understand those three pillars, from the information I gave you, I'm sure you should be able to come and give me your testimonial in progress that you gathered one idea, and that idea you took it to town, you built an enterprise, and that enterprise you're now doing something legit. So remember, you can participate in the moringa value chain, in the soybean value chain, in the maize value chain, in agribusiness. For me, for us in Africa, is our biggest opportunity for agribusiness, for us to be able to thrive. And you can use your IT skills, you can use your business skills, you can use your technical skills, everything that you can use for you to run something successfully as a business. So I hope that in this talk you have been able to get some ideas plus inspiration for you to move towards entrepreneurship as a career option. Should you need more information on what sort of business idea, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We run a business incubator online as well as a physical site to be able to help you on your personal journey to entrepreneurship, because we believe that entrepreneurship is an option for young people to be able to find something that they can be able to do, and it offers massive opportunity. So if you are such a one, please click the link, and I'm sure it will lead you either to my website or to the website of the promoters of the program, and you can be able to get more information how you can how you can start and run your own business, how you can choose entrepreneurship as a career option. Otherwise, if we do meet somewhere in the greater continent of Africa, please remember, all of us need to know business. All of us need to enroll in wealth creation. All of us need to understand that it is only business that builds wealth. Otherwise, we shall always remain as the countries that do not participate in the club of 20 richest nations. I believe, like for my country, one of my vision is to be a member of the club of 20 richest nations in the world. And I'm hoping that, by helping the young people, by helping young people choose entrepreneurship as a career option, we too can join the club of 20 richest nations in the world. That is the place for entrepreneurship. You can be able to participate. Otherwise, it was truly a joy to share with you some ideas. I hope that, it takes you to the next level. Thank you, and God bless you.